Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode of my podcast Marketing Masala Marke. My name is Ritesh and I'm the founder of the Kite Flyers. Today I have not one but two guests in the house. First, who comes from a tech background and has successfully sold India's first grocery tech startup. The other one who comes from a non-tech background and had created India's first fan-based app, which she has again successfully sold and which she very proudly says it was way ahead of its time. In today's episode, we'll cover their journey, about their new startup and how they came together and what are the learnings that they had from the previous ones. Please join in welcoming Ashish Goel and Samriddhi Katyal. Hi Ashish and Samriddhi, welcome. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much.
It's an absolute pleasure to have a conversation with you, and in fact I was quite looking forward to having a guest like the two of you because of the new age platform that you're building today, and we'll talk more about it in the conversation. But there's so much about the two of you. Let's start from the very beginning.
Sure.
I would first ask you, Ashish, about your journey as a professional, and of course it has an existing stint of a startup, a bit of corporate, and then another startup, and yours has a huge portion of corporate, then a startup, and then another startup. So let's start with you. I think it will be very interesting.
So I did my college engineering in 99 from Delhi, and then I started working for IT companies, Influns, Wipro Technologies, Tata, TCS. And then I went to London. I was there for around 10 years. Again corporate for banking and finance domain. In 2012, I decided to come back to India. Did first startup in real estate.
Okay.
We ran it for a couple of years, didn't work out, learned a lot during that period from corporate to startup world. That's the learning phase.
Okay.
And then we moved to Milkbasket, another idea, because we've also faced that challenge while we were doing our first startup, the grocery challenge in India.
That's right.
The man challenge, not woman challenge. Then we thought of building it for men, not for women. The Milkbasket is for men so that they are free from grocery.
Oh.
So that's the idea. And then 2015 to 2021, I was in Milkbasket. We built it from scratch and exited to Reliance in 21. And next 3 years worked in as a head of tech, CTO roles in few startups.
Okay.
And 24 met Samriddhi and decided to take that plunge again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Excellent. And I want to talk about that a little.
Sure.
But first you, Samriddhi.
So my journey was very interesting. I'm not a very good student, so started working very early. Started with this film called Khosla Ghosla as an intern. Ended up getting front credit. Worked in 18 other feature films in various capacities. Headed Commonwealth Games. My family was always insistent get a proper job. For them, that was not a job. So I joined Star India. I joined Star India, I think, in 2011 beginning. The Star experience was actually very, very enthralling. We launched Hotstar. We launched Star Sports. I was the only person in Star at that point in time who had live sports experience.
Okay.
So I got to work with the biggest top management, was a part of launching Hotstar, how we got the Hotstar name. It was a very entertaining journey. Then I thought it's time to try another network, how the thing worked. Then I joined Viacom 18. It was a very different experience in Viacom 18 industry of working. And then I thought that media industry needs a definite change. Changing networks is not going to help. We lacked an entire data layer in the ecosystem and fans were not catered to. So started building Fandom from scratch.
Okay. What was it?
Fandom was a social media platform for fans, is a social media platform for fans where you can validate a fan for being a fan. So that was the idea, and giving industry its own platform where we cannot be boycotted from, just at whims of other people. So Fandom exited, and then the idea was to just lie low for some time, and come the next project, it just came to its fruition from the beginning. The whole idea and learnings for Fandom was not make the same mistakes. It was a very expensive learning curve from Fandom. So whatever learnings that you did, I was like for me, he's a celebrity CTO, right? And I was a fanatic of Milkbasket, and I'm not just saying it because he's sitting right there. He can validate it because when in Gurgaon we didn't have Milkbasket in Noida, and during COVID I had moved to Gurgaon and we used to order from Milkbasket, and then having him join me in my vision. Now he believes more in the vision than I do. Was I quoted him for 1 year, 1 month to actually date him, to tell him how I am. He did my reference checks, which I got to know after he said yes. And yeah, it was quite entertaining. And what we're building, the way I had imagined it, he's taken it to the 200,000x percentage more, and even in like just 2 months. So yeah, it's been quite a journey.
Excellent. So going back to the history, the rich history that you both have. Actually, I'll come to you first. So there was one real estate startup followed by Milkbasket, which at that point of time was the pioneer in that space. You did not have the likes of the Blinkits and the Grofers and all of that जो आज सब कुछ है. Normally ऐसा कहा जाता है कि आप पैशन को परस्यू मत करो, किसी प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करो, तभी आपका प्रोडक्ट और वो सब आगे जाता है. सो जब आपने मिल्क बास्केट करा, मिल्क बास्केट ऑफ कोर्स वाज अ रेज बैक देन, इट स्टिल प्रॉब्ली इज, बट ड्यूरिंग दैट जर्नी आपके लिए क्या मुश्किल था? क्योंकि एक तो पहले तो यही समझाना कि आपको घर बैठ के सब कुछ मिल जाएगा, कुछ करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, फ़ोन पे, ये एलियन कॉन्सेप्ट रहा होगा उस टाइम. तो वो सेटअप करने में आपको क्या प्राइमरी चैलेंजेस आए विद पीपल?
So Milkbasket was a totally different journey from what we built first year, first startup. We took 1 year to build the product and then go to market.
ठीक है.
And that's a way of typical enterprise people: build for long, then test the market, be confident about whatever you build should work. Milkbasket is a total different journey. We will not build unless customer wants something. So we started with Excel sheets. We didn't have any tech on day one. We just went to market, print pamphlets, and we took orders, maintained Excel sheets, WhatsApp groups, and we ourselves delivered in our cars in the morning. That was first 15 days. So we'll go 4 o'clock to a distributor, buy milk, get in our car and deliver to 20-25 odd customers in first 15 days.
This was their pilot basically.
That was our pilot.
अच्छा.
That was because from our learning in 2 years was that first make sure customer has a need for that. Customer is ready to pay for that, and then you build that, then start building on top of that. So that's what we proved first, that customer day one we got advances of 1,000 rupees. That was the minimum advance, and nobody was taking advance at that point of time. So we started taking 1,000 rupees advance for delivering milk. So again, building trust. We thought that this economy needs trust, two-way trust. Like we deliver outside the door. And if customer complains, we will refund. So we trust our customer that they will not. Same way, they need to trust us that if you're keeping money in advance, we'll make sure they are. So we didn't receive any complaint of money calculations or anything for 5 years, 6 years we were there. So coming back to early days, I think the learning is build small, experiment, take feedback, keep on doing it for 6 months, 9 months. And you will reach somewhere which is, we are in the right direction. And if you feel it's not working, go back to market, research again, and then pivot and try to do something else. That's.
जब आपने शुरू किया था, तो आपने शुरू से ही नाम मिल्क बास्केट रखा था या पहले कुछ ऐसे आशीष एंड फ्रेंड्स टाइप ऐसा कुछ था?
No, I think name for us was, again, there was a lot of theory behind why we did it. So we did research on what's our habit, like Indian habits, right? That time grocery was there. We were doing big basket, which was weekly grocery model. We are copying Western model, which was not working for India because we are a daily buying people. We consume a lot of fresh. We don't have freezers. The behaviors are different, and we like to buy from local shops. We researched local shops. We saw milk lying outside local shops. We ask them, why you keep outside, why not inside? That's the hook for customer. Achha. Milk is a hook for customer to come in because they will come to get milk and they will buy something else. That's the natural behavior we took and we tried to build Milkbasket. It's a simple behavior. You need to, that's why for building a startup, if you go and research and observe people, see their behaviors, what are they doing, how they're doing, what's the decision they take, why they take their decisions. If you understand those concepts, try to build in your product, and then it will help you to grow faster. So building a new habit requires a lot of effort. Getting existing habit pre-built in your product, it's easy to scale.
Absolutely.
That's it.
So आपने 9 महीने you did this अपनी गाड़ी में सामान सुबह.
No, not 9 months. That was too much for me. We did it for 15 days. Then I pivoted to product and tech, and we started hiring people. Then we knew that this is for long. We built a single page website for 15 products within 2 weeks, and we gave customer the ability to place an order.
और ये आप सिर्फ उस पर्टिकुलर पिन कोड में ही कर रहे थे देन और यू स्टार्टेड देन.
So our model was slightly different, which was not pin code based, it was society based. We started with verticals, basically high rises. Again, we did lot of calculations. How will it make money? We are delivering milk. How will we break even? So a typical delivery person will take 15 to 20 minutes to deliver an order. We planned that a person should deliver 50 orders in 1.5 hours.
अच्छा.
That's the plan, and that will happen only in verticals. You enter a society, you have penetration in that society. So let's say we used to target 40% penetration in the society. That was our target, that to break even.
तो अगर 100 घर हैं तो 40 में हमारा सामान जाना चाहिए, like that.
Yeah. So that's the model we built that, and then we moved it to horizontal as well. But the initial model was verticals only. We started very small, one society, 3 months, second society, then third society. We started small, but we made sure that our operations are strong. That our commitment of before 7 a.m. delivery, I think 6 years we broke only once. Another thing we did was the inventory management. Like those days, the fulfillment. Today it's a different world altogether, but those days the fulfillment was 90%. Let's say you order tomatoes and a gobi to make us vegetable. One thing will come, one thing will not come. Those were the days. Our fulfillment was 99% plus. That if you order, we guarantee you will get it.
The growth that Milkbasket saw was phenomenal, of course.
Even in today's world, when we have Blinkit and Zeptos, still Milkbasket is relevant. The pricing part and the ease of convenience, even for growers and Blinkit, you need people at home. The Milkbasket model that at 10 o'clock you remember something, get in the morning, still it's relevant. So it's a long-term model. It's not that quick commerce will come or some model will change. It's not a short-term model.
Right.
So again, you need to think that when building startup, is it sustainable in the long run? Can company survive for 20 years? Not as a founder, you don't think that far. At least you need to imagine, will people use it after 20 years? Will it be valuable at that point of time or not? They knowing they need it.
Right. No, absolutely. Perfect. So, Samriddhi, same question to you. You've been, Fandom was pretty ahead of its time at that point, as you mentioned, right? I mean, it's a concept of West. People value fans there quite a bit, but in India, they don't get their due in that sense. While every star keeps thanking the fans, and they rely on the fans for their success, but as you mentioned, so that's not there. So how was it for you building something like you mentioned, which people don't even know if they need,
So I
and what
understood
triggered that
that
actually?
India is a country of phonetics, right? And you make a smallest star stand on the road and there'll be thousands of people. And I'm not talking about Shah Rukh Khans of the world. Even a television star, India mein television is very underrated. Shah Rukh Khan will come in seasons, right? But a television is associated with you on a daily level. There were stories that we used to read, right? There was a show called Ye Rishta Kya Kehlata Hai. Naitik was a character in that, right? It's remembered by characters. People have named their children after these characters. We used to get these emails that मेरी दादी ने fast रखा हुआ है, जब तक नैतिक ठीक नहीं होगा, she won't break the fast. And it's already 7 days. Can you break the fast?
Really?
And these are real stories which people don't get to see, and this is the power of, because that television becomes your extended family. But yes, our journey in the whole ecosystem on how we drove it was a little more tougher and understood, because again, as I said, it was a very expensive mistake. If I have to build Fandom all over again, I think from going to market, as he said, from his first startup, getting the product right is not the important thing, but going to market and getting
Testing
the
the
feedback and actually reaching out. So even if we did 5 pilots with Ranbir Kapoor's of the world, people actually wrote us letters and mentioned us in their videos as individuals. Thank you for making my dream come true. It's that valuable for them. For my learnings and my mistakes, which cost it to be very expensive, I still really believe in the power of fans.
100%, 100%. Perfect. So now let's switch to the present.
Yes.
So आप दोनों ने अपने अपने startups करे, आप pure tech से शुरू हुए थे. Then of course you got a sense of business and how it works. And then you did some corporate stint also. You've again, decided to build something. आपका experience, expensive mistake. आपका experience काफ़ी अच्छा. उसके बाद फिर corporate and then as while you were talking offline, due to some personal setbacks, you kind of decided to hold yourself back because you wanted to be in the right frame of mind. But again, here you are, right, building something again. First, of course, I will ask you to explain what you are building in a short way so that people know what we are talking about. Sure. And then I will have specific questions on what you're creating because it's quite new age. It has its own flavor of likes and dislikes, so I'll get to that. But over to you guys first, just to tell us what you're building.
I'll give you my take. I've been seeing my kids, so they are nowadays too much into content, social media content. Their decisions more and more are based on what they're watching. They talk to friends, they're also on social media, or they play games. These are the two mediums which are influencing our children a lot. They are not reading in terms of newspapers, advertisements, or any reading material or websites or content reading is no. And with AI chat and all coming, people are researching less, right? So for brands to reach out to them is becoming more and more difficult. You had Google ads, you had Facebook ads. That part is also becoming expensive as time. These are now our main methods of reaching our customers.
Right.
The new method which is coming now is social media and games to get into your customer. So what we have picked is social media, and in India we have Instagram, one of the biggest in social media for the new gen, whatever Gen Z we call them. So for me, the idea was that how can we build a platform for brands to work with people who influence other people.
Okay, that's influencers essentially.
Influencers, right.
Okay.
You call them creators, influencers. People basically who can influence other people, whose content is liked by other people. How can these people connect with brands and brands can connect with them and we match them so that brands can reach the right audience and they have another channel reach out to their customers, the new age customers, and with respect to what traditional performance marketing has been, which is Google ads and Facebook ads. The idea is to build a platform where brands are confident that we are able to reach our target segment and people who are creating this content for brands, they are getting confidence that we are working for a good brand and our content is protected, copyrighted. We are getting our money in time. So this market can grow a huge market in India. I feel in India it's a nascent stage. Western world is far ahead of us in this market. I felt this is I call it blue ocean market in India. So why not build for India? A lot of people have tried it before. We are taking a very challenging approach, which is tech approach versus the agency approach. And idea is to scale to millions of people with millions of influencers on the platform. So that it's not just limited to a set of people which agency can do. A platform which is fair marketplace kind of a platform where brands and influencers can connect and match, which is not dependent on a person, an agency person who is deciding which influencer will work for which platform or which brand. So fair play marketplace and which can be anywhere in this world, with starting with India. And the possibilities are endless, I feel.
Of course.
It's a marketing platform for the future. That's what we're building.
Wow. You want to add something?
So I came at that with a very different approach on data and analytics again, right? That drove me, and looking at the statistics and numbers, the TAM. You look at all your conventional agencies, the revenue, which he only pointed out, right, hasn't grown in years. And what he said, right, I'm just speaking from that every set of social agencies have certain set of individuals, so they get reputation. So the brands don't get new faces. The brand, even if they're trying to promote their brand, gets convoluted. because the brand is promoting for X brand also in the same competition Y brand also. So the authenticity of the influencer was missing, and the people who genuinely have real connects, not fake followers or high authenticity, are not getting the brands because they are not in these social media circles, or they probably don't have good looking faces, or they don't want to be represented, or they don't give more cuts, right? And a lot of data research that why has the TAM versus West market and India market has not increased. What is the fundamental problem? Let's try and solve those problem. The fundamental problem was the commission. It works as we said, right? It's an M&M model. One agency gets work and then it gets passed on to lower WhatsApp groups, and the whole ROI is decreasing. Whether this is becoming one of the fundamental game changers in the industry, it's actually working in the reverse in India, right? Because there is no true marketplace which is validating that we are not here to give it to other layers in the market and not keeping profit for ourselves, and giving creators the due, solving problems what creators had at a fundamental level, and building trust, trust in the platform, and genuinely trying to increase the TAM to reach to that market. Everybody says that TAM is projected at this. How are you validating TAM when there is not a product built to validate that TAM? Everybody's TAM is increasing 300%. In India, we're growing at a CAGR of 25%. So the idea was to just improve the TAM with a tech layer in it, and absolutely building on the tech with minimum human intervention. The influencer marketing biggest thing is that the decision is still based on individuals, their choices, their preferences, their cuts, and their everything. To eliminate them, and as he said, build a true and pure marketplace for the ecosystem, for brands and influencers to get marketing that push. Every D2C brand has a different, whether you're building a clothing brand, the tonality will different, and different niche will cater to different brands. Right. One will be sustainability, other will be fashion, other will be just premium products, right? Those niches are not well defined in this industry. It's categorized into broad 10 categories, lifestyle, this. But when a brand starts its whole ethos, it's divided into different niches and different ethos. Identify those niches and cater to right influencer for the right brand and build it pure tech. That's where we want to be, and definitely change the TAM of the market. In the next 2 years, I promise you, there will be new reports which say the CGR is not going by 25%, but minimum by 100%.
100%. Coming back to where you started, आपने सबसे पहले चीज़ ये बोली कि kids today consume social media and their buying decisions, or maybe they push you also to get something कि पापा ये देखो हमने यहाँ पे ये देखा या whatever, right? So while you are creating all of that, there is also a parallel philosophy which says that influencers in general, and this is now a very ideological question that I'm going to ask you. So normally influencers के लिए ऐसा कहा जाता है कि what you see on the screen is not what they are. So they live a pseudo life because they are trying to address a certain audience that they have, kind of generated for themselves. So they are, आज आपने पैसे दिए आपके लिए बोल दिया, कल किसी और ने दिए किसी और के लिए बोल दिया. It's a person who's selling anything and everything. Authenticity कितनी है उसकी as a person पता नहीं. But you are again giving them that platform. तो कभी ऐसा लगता है कि यार ये जो इंसान है जितना ये ऑथेंटिक और जेन्युइन अपने आप को दिखाता है, ये पता नहीं है भी कि नहीं है, बट आई एम अगेन गिविंग हिम अ प्लेटफॉर्म एंड गिविंग हिम मोर अपॉर्चुनिटीज टू टेक हिज सूडो सेल्फ मोर फॉरवर्ड एंड डू व्हाटएवर ही इज डूइंग. तो कभी वो ऐसा कभी आपको लगा?
See, what is a creator? Creator has created an image for himself in the market, and that image may not be true image, as you said. His personality or in real life could be different. This is a persona created, which he is repeatedly playing it.
Correct.
So we have comedians who play the persona. Kapil used to play a persona. Samir and I now play the persona. Those are all personas, right?
Right.
So these personas are liked by people. They follow that persona, and that's why content is created again and again for that persona. So it's not that it's like a acting kind of for that persona, right? So they're playing it again and again. It's no harm. A content creator can have multiple personas also. So they not only create one account, they create multiple accounts to create multiple personas and have followings of different types. So it's their skill. It's not a fakeness. It's their skill of creating that persona.
Agreed.
Which is liked by people. And if they are not true, people will stop following them.
Absolutely.
So they are true to their craft. That's why people follow them, and that's why people will follow what they're showing. And if converting to a paid thing is not easy for people to buy something which a person is showing on screen. So the person has to be really good at their craft to do it. We should acknowledge their craft rather than saying they are fake. They may be fake, but they've created that craft. So everybody is creating those crafts. Actors are creating that craft.
Right.
So
and I would really like to add on to his point, right? What he's saying is absolutely bang on in the sense, earlier your influencers were your celebrities.
This
Who used
still
to do 50 advertisement for different brands, right? So now, because they had a following and that's why they were chosen as celebrities and influencers. Now they become people because people are spending more time looking at social media than those. It was again the persona there, not Shah Rukh Khan himself, but he played Raja Rahul where I mentioned, right? That's what built his persona and his validation. Shah Rukh Khan played these three different, he did a Tiger also, he did a Hyundai also, he did a Byju's also.
And he did a tail also.
Yeah, so these are very different categories of people. Now we had only one Shah Rukh Khan. Now a person who wants to follow a Tiger will have a different influencer or a liking to follow. A Santro guy will have a different content to follow. So it's become more democratic per se just to follow, because content was always available. It is more available now, and it is available in niches, as I said, right? So people are following niches, and those niches, if they are catering to me and to him as an individual to suffice my entertainment choices, it's become much more easier. So they've created that business opportunity and they've worked equally hard for 10 years to build that 1 million. You know, Prajakta Kohli started building content in 2005. The influencer marketing has come in the last 5 years probably, right? So they have built their brand over 10 years to be able to say, I will monetize. And there are creators, and that's what our platform is also solving from that. If you come on the platform, the fundamental challenges of the brands and for the influencers get solved. We have done our research for 6 months to identify different challenges in different categories, both from brand perspective and influencer perspective. And thus we are saying we are building this to give you the actual ROI, measure the actual result in very simple terms. And this is the highlight, that we want to build Google Ads as transparent for influencer marketing, that every data point is dynamic. Influencer, if you are performing, it's not like you have 1 million followers and you didn't perform for last 30 days, but I still pay you that 1 lakh rupees that you are asking for, right? And those are the real life challenges. That's why the industry is not growing, right? You have to fundamentally identify what's going wrong and try and solve for that through tech. And that's why Influns.
Very good. I was just about to ask you that what is the name of your platform, because you've mentioned everything about it, but you've never mentioned the name of
That's the hero shot.
Okay.
That's the climax.
So Influns is the name of. Just tell me why. I mean, I'm very curious about the name. How did you come up with this, and why? And what does it mean? The name. बच्चे का नाम क्यों रखा ऐसा?
So we are building for influencers. We wanted something which sounds like it. So Influns is sounding similar to influencers.
Okay.
So we are able to relate to, because we call ourselves as friend of influencers.
Okay.
That's our motto. Like we want to be for influencers and create a platform for influencers. So tagline is friend for influencers. So we wanted to sound like we are one of the influencers.
Okay.
So that's why Influns. And you know, .coms are a challenge nowadays. Getting .com.
You've already onboarded. I know you've onboarded quite a few brands, and you've also onboarded quite a few influencers. I'll not go in numbers and names. But मुझे ये बताइए कि अभी तक what has been the most funny, weird question that any brand or influencer has asked you before joining? Because of course you're new, right? I mean, you're not like a name today. You will be very good. But जैसे होता है आदमी सवाल पूछता है, हाँ, तो कुछ ऐसा कभी आपको किसी ने कुछ ऐसा सवाल पूछा जो आपने कहा कि यार अब मैं इसका क्या ही जवाब दूँ या मैं क्या एक्सप्लेन करूँ?
Every influencer wants work. So they expect कि अगर 100 लोगों ने या 200 लोगों ने भी अप्लाई किया है प्लेटफॉर्म पे, that 200 लोगों को काम मिलना चाहिए. If they get a rejection message, they take it personally. That on what basis was I rejected? So on our customer support we get, I was better than my friend. Why didn't I get selected? So it's not our call. It's the brand call or the matching call, right? So the personal emotion that an influencer goes through becomes a challenge. and handling them on a daily basis. It's not you, it's really choice of the brand, and you don't match the tonality and don't take the rejection personally because your friend has gotten work and you had better numbers. You're going against your friend to say कि उसके numbers मेरे से कम थे, and I'm like, this is not you. Let the platform work for itself and your turn will come when the right platform manages, right? So of course there are human emotions involved, right? It becomes competitive on that space. So we are also learning to how to deal with them, and these are new things. But it's a good thing that people are hungry, they're ready to outperform, and these are people who have not gotten access to these brands are now willing to do and fight it out with you as a platform कि मुझे क्यों नहीं मिला है.
Okay, so now I'm going to come back to something because I know both of you थोड़ा. तो normally क्या होता है, ऐसा देखा जाता है when two people come together for a startup, they have some connection. या तो वो साथ में उन्होंने काम किया होता है, या स्कूल फ्रेंड्स होते हैं, या कॉलेज बडीज होते हैं, या कुछ ऐसा रहता है. Both of you before this had no connection with each other whatsoever. किसी भी remotely भी नहीं था. And then you met and then you obviously decided, जैसे आपने बताया कि you had to kind of court him for about a month.
More than that, yeah.
And you, offline as you were mentioning, you were not interested at the outset. Starting something like this, revolutionary, new age, futuristic, both of you bring in very different skill sets, which obviously is required in a collaboration. What made you agree to work with her? Her is pretty straight. She said that she wanted somebody to run the tech, and you are like a dream person to have because you've really done that very well. How did this whole first आप लोग मिले किधर? My first question is that where did you meet?
So I'll answer that. His co-founder was very keen in investing in Fandom.
अच्छा.
But eventually it didn't happen. But I kept in touch with him because he was a connection of Milkbasket for me. And for me, as I said, I was a very big fanatic of Milkbasket. I happened to present it to him, the platform, and he said, I'll put in some money. So I said, don't put in money, just make me meet a good CTO. Milkbasket CTO. As categorically as he mentioned, he will never do it. He's planning to start his own startup. I said, fair enough, all I ask is one meeting. And that's all I can ask for. First meeting, the guy didn't show up. Obviously. For me, the guy didn't show up.
How respectful is that?
How respectful is that? But to his defense, he was working somewhere and his obligations were more important, which I understand. So first time I was stood up on a date for him. आके देख के चला गया, शादी थोड़ी मांग रहे थे. But yeah, so first meeting didn't happen. Second meeting I couldn't make it because synchronicity. No, it was never 1 hour. For me, it was still meeting him more important. And finally, we decided a chance to meet. And I said, just open your perspective. I'm not asking you for anything. I'm here to pitch something to you. And when something has to happen and something big has to happen, the world collides for you to make it happen. And I'm in that theory. Fandom didn't collide for 3 years, and this collided in 1 month for me, right? So I presented the platform. He was building something else. So I had to break down first that. I had to understand what he was building to break it down. Sir, ये नहीं करते हैं, पहले ये करते हैं, फिर वो करेंगे. So to break that down first and then convince him of the market space and then give him this time. I was not in a rush in my previous learnings, right? Don't rush it. If he's not interested in joining, he won't. Your pleas and begging is not going to help. So give the man the space and take him through what you've experienced in the last 4 months before meeting him. Present him, and I understood he'll go with data analytics and his own market research. So I gave him that time, met him frequently for him to understand me to understand him. And that's how I think it fell in place. I don't know about him.
No, I'll come to him. So आप बताओ.
So for me, what I look for when I'm building startup, the market size is very important, right? And the space should excite you. Both things are important because startup is not 1 year, 2 years, minimum 5 years, 10 years, 15 years commitment without money.
Yeah.
Right? So you need to be confident that you believe in the whatever you're trying to build, and it has a market size also.
Correct.
So I had doubts about market size. That's why it took a lot of time. I knew there's people like new age is influenced by social, so need I understood. But whether it can be a big business, multi-billion-dollar business, what's the size of market in India, that I need to plan. And also research. I need to understand why it has not worked in India till now. So took me 1 month, did my research, understood where we are in India versus rest of the world. Build some thesis why it's not working in India. We searched on all the platforms around the world. Took 1 month to see whether the tech play can help in India. And the outcome was yes, it can help. It can take India to the same level as the rest of the world in terms of this space, influencer marketing. And that's why I said go ahead. And again, second thing, once you have this market size, belief, and then co-founder, the third choice is not easy, right? You need to spend again 10 years with person. It's not one day job.
Correct.
And you need to fight also. You need to disagree also. And you need to
kind of come back
club
together.
Also. Clubbing
course,
also, right? Same person. Not your wife, your co-founder, right?
So I call him my second half, not my better half.
So it's not. So what I found was that she's a very strong and passionate person. I'm a very to the point, targeted person. So the combination works in terms of that. And this is again a media thing, right? So we need someone who has background in media, who understands this industry, who has connects in this industry, because breaking into this domain is not easy. I've seen a lot of people that try to build a tech play. Pure tech play doesn't work in any industry.
Right.
You need to know domain knowledge, or you need to have connects in that domain. So that also value add she had. So the passion she had for this dream and the background in media and the personality she had, I think we are complementing each other. That's a call I took. Let's go ahead and
thank you.
That's how we started.
I say again, thank you on record.
It's a mutual decision.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So it's not just tech play. As I said, we need to believe in this.
Right.
Both of us need to believe in this. Startup only works if we have belief.
Yes.
And that's
what sails you through in rainy days, right? I mean, and one does have rainy days, of course.
Startup has more rainy days than yeah.
Right. No, of course, absolutely. So, chalo, let's come back to something because you spoke about a lot of things here. One question I have from both of you, and we had a guest I was talking to you about in the past when he did his startup, when he was doing his first startup, he said that he almost went bankrupt thrice. And then again, yet, wo jo ek bar, the bug, then when it bites you, so then you kind of go do it again. So he's kind of still working on something. Now that you're doing something, she calls it an expensive mistake, the first one. You call it maybe a successful venture, identifying whatever. तो जो बेहतर चीज़ें करी होती हैं वो तो बहुत ईजी होती हैं इम्प्लीमेंट करना. अगर मैं आप दोनों से ये पूछूं कि what were the mistakes that you made in your individual startups earlier, and what did you learn, and how are you kind of bringing that learning into your current one?
Again, the biggest learnings are in first startup. This is third for me. So most of them improved in the second startup.
Right. Sorry, I keep coming back to Milkbasket because that's where the glory is. So second.
As I said, build fast, go to market fast, which we did in my second startup. Now, next level of challenges, what I would say is about don't just work on your domain. You need to be aware of all the domains in your startup. Even if you're looking at tech and product, you should be aware about business, how business works, what are the business numbers, how is the customer reacting. So all the domains, connect with investors, connect with audience, connect with market. So you need to keep in, so learning was that you need to be aware of all the things, not just your silo.
You're a particular thing.
Yeah, even if you're multiple founders, do what you're good at, but keep an eye on or contribute wherever you can in other domains also.
Okay.
So that's a learning I was, that always be aware of how is the business going and contribute towards business.
Got it. आपके लिए क्या है?
As you started mentioning, I come from a corporate long background.
Right.
The difference between working for a chair and yourself is a huge difference. When you're working for a big company, you think you are the company at that point because people are respecting you for your chair, not for you. Right. When you go down to your thing, I was still in that mind frame. It was easy access to money. I got investors easy because of my background and my thing. But the getting into the space that as a startup founder, you are used to, as a corporate person, you are used to certain ways of functioning because there's no dearth of money. There has to be perfect, right, before you launch to the market. But in startup, you need to go to the market, test the market, and then come back to your product was a different ball game altogether. And how you have to shift your mindset towards customer than your company. was a very, very big learning. And perfection is not always good. And perfection is never good in startup because you don't know what you're creating a new market space. You don't know what you're building for. Neither they know whether customers know whether they want this or not. For me, the biggest challenges which people face getting the biggest names and getting money was simpler than actually putting the product out and asking people, hey, this is for you, and I could have reached to market faster and solved problems then. And the second most important bit was the co-founder. You have to find your right co-founder. It's not an easy thing, and that makes and breaks your startup. It's you can have the money on your name, you can have the product, you can have everything. If the vision is not complementary to each other's skill, and if you don't try and compete with each other in the same startup, and eventually it boils down to your co-founder, right? And you have to have that mutual respect for each other, that belief in that other person, that this person knows what he's doing, or he or she will figure out, and give them a chance to fail because they are also trying it for the first time. Don't define it by that mistake. Even if I make mistakes here, I am the first person to call him, I fucked up, help me here. And he said, that's okay, it's a learning thing. And that's where he gives me that space, and his calmness and his experience really helps in making me go all out and not subside myself and just do what I got to do, right? So our categories and role definitions are very, very simpler. He built something that before I'm thinking also he's already built. So we are synced to that level, and we have those daily conversations. We ensure that after every 15 days, just you and me go spend time out from that break to get to, it's still a learning curve, and forget the work and just go out for a drink and just chill.
Another thing that I have today, and this is more in tune with today's way of looking at market and how people are perceiving products, and I'm asking you this question because the two of you represent two different genres of people. So one is pure tech and one is pure non-tech, if I may say so.
Absolutely, you can.
कोई भी चीज़ किसी को बनानी हो आज की डेट में, आजकल एक जनरल फैड ये है कि एक AI ले आओ और एक आप कुछ भी बनाना चाहते हो उसमें टेक्नोलॉजी होनी चाहिए, नहीं तो आपका प्रोडक्ट कहीं नहीं जा सकता, ऐसा बोला जाता है. प्रोडक्ट कुड बी एक्सपीरियंस, प्रोडक्ट कुड बी एनीथिंग. तो आपका ओपिनियन दोनों का इस पे क्या है? डू यू फील दैट if it is not tech, it's not worth it, or do you feel otherwise?
For me, consumer behavior is important, and consumer need is important. So tech is a way to solve a problem. It's not you need to find a problem first, and then look at whether a business can be built around that problem, and then can tech help in solving that problem. And tech is of multi-level nowadays. One is simple tech, which we have been doing for years. And this new AI world, there are complex tech. If it's a data problem, then you have AI problems, which AI can solve it or help you make things faster, cheaper. But at the end, again, coming back, you need to have a problem first. You just create an AI solution without a problem. It will last for a few months, but not longer. So first find a problem, then look for what's the right solution for that. And if it's AI is the right way to solve it, go for AI. If the deep tech is the solution, go for deep tech. If pure simple tech can solve it, why not pure simple tech?
But without tech also could be products and services that could survive and do well, right?
So I think tech is a way to scale faster, right? So you can always run, like we have businesses running for years now, right? But tech helps us in scaling faster, developing processes, because humans are different.
Correct.
Tech is same for everyone, right? So tech helps to scale faster. That's where the tech play comes into picture. That's why startups are called tech startups, because they want to grow faster.
Correct.
Otherwise, they are typical businesses. The difference between a business startup is scale. How fast can they scale? And that's why tech play is considered a big play over there.
अंडरस्टूड. चलिए अब आप दोनों से एक सवाल पूछता हूँ. आप लोग इतने इन्फ्लुएंसर्स को अपने प्लेटफॉर्म पे ला रहे हो और योर होल बिजनेस मॉडल इज बिल्ट ऑन दैट. सो टेल मी 3 influencers that you are following, and then I'll ask you that question also.
I am a very big follower of Akshay Khanna's wife's name, Twinkle Khanna.
Akshay Kumar.
Akshay Kumar.
You will ruin their marriage. Don't do that.
Akshay Kumar's wife, Twinkle Khanna. I like the wittiness, and I don't follow any particular influencer per se. I follow tech people a lot. I follow him a lot, which she doesn't post. But no, not per se anything. For me, for me, Instagram is a university. So I have catered my algorithm to whoever teaches me. I follow.
Okay.
Like I really like to follow the whole bit of Mr. Beast becoming Mr. Beast from last 10 years and enabling and understanding what the play is. For me, it's more about learning. I'm not a Gen Z.
अच्छा ठीक है चलो सर आप बताओ.
So for me, reading is, we have been grown up reading, so I read a lot rather than watching content. Instagram, again, you get a lot of information, entertainment, but learning is limited over there. For people our age, we want to learn rather than just pure entertainment. So for me, LinkedIn and
LinkedIn में आप किसको follow करते हो?
nothing in particular.
Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary whatever that guy is.
अच्छा.
So as I said, you need to read variety, and today's algorithms are there. Based on what you read, you get the similar content, right?
Yeah.
So you don't need to follow someone. It's good that you get same content from different authors, so you have perspectives of different people on the same topic. Platforms are helping me learn. I don't need to choose now. So we are building something similar, right? You don't need to choose influencers. I'll just share a couple of names for you.
हाँ please.
I've watched few of videos or podcasts from Naval Khan. I believe his level is totally different.
Okay.
And newsletter from Andrew Chen. So these are a couple of people.
Yeah, Andrew Chen, very.
Which I admire, like what they have done, the thought level.
Okay.
So other stuff is usual, we can read, but these are a couple of people whom I would really like to look forward to what their content is.
My buying has completely become Instagram based. So the recommendations, if I follow that content, it automatically buying through that is become, so inevitably I'm following everyone.
So आप दोनों जो हो, क्लासिक एग्जाम्पल हो जो एक हिंदी की कहावत है कि हलवाई अपनी मिठाई खुद नहीं खाता. आप इतना बड़ा प्लेटफॉर्म बना रहे हो फॉर पीपल टू कम एंड डेमोन्स्ट्रेट देयर स्किल एंड मेक मोर मनी एंड you know all of the good stuff that
they know their skills.
But you're not following anybody in particular. You're actually following the platform per se, Instagram or LinkedIn, just to kind of understand what is working. Great, wonderful, perfect. So I think it was a perfect segue into the final segment of it. Like, you know, it's the name of the show is Marketing Masala Marke. So I'm going to ask you one masala question each, which I would seek your inputs on. All right. So my question to you, if you were to have dinner with one of the influencers, दुनिया में जितने भी हैं, किसके साथ आप डिनर पे जाना चाहोगे और क्यों?
Let me think about it.
अच्छा चलो आप सोचो.
I will go with.
नहीं आप के लिए इस क्वेश्चन नहीं है. आपके लिए
I will go with Virat. Can I answer on his behalf?
You can answer for yourself, but your question is different.
Virat Kohli, any day.
And why?
Oh man, the aura of that guy, understanding his mindset, what he goes through. I don't know. I also follow him.
अरे वाह. Do you have your answer now?
I'll go with a very unconventional answer. I would say Amitabh or Dharmendra.
अच्छा.
We have been grown up watching their movies. My father made sure I watch all their movies. And they were pre-social era. So we don't know a lot about them. And Amitabh at this age is still doing KBC.
Correct.
So these are inspirational people. And if you're given a chance, I would like to meet them and know more about them.
Both
I
of them
can help you.
together. Have influence also.
That's why I'm working with that.
So one last question for you.
Yeah.
If there could be one app that you can't live without, one app out of so many, not particular social media, any app.
WhatsApp.
Okay. Okay, that was pretty instant.
Yeah, I don't think I can survive. I have this instinct need of checking my WhatsApp every 30 seconds.
But you're doing pretty well, huh? From past quite few minutes
Yeah,
you've
but
been.
no, not matlab, this is for you that I've given up my addiction for WhatsApp.
Right.
So it's quite entertaining, and I think when I have the time, Instagram Reels is something that I really abide by.
Wonderful. Perfect. So thank you, Ashish and Samriddhi. It was lovely talking to you. I think very insightful. I wish all the very best for Influns. It's going to hit the markets when?
It has already hit the market.
It's already hit the markets. Wonderful. So guys, if you're an influencer or planning to be one, please be sure that you go and check out influns.com.
Yeah.
Right? And hopefully we'll talk again soon and we'll have greater stories about influence and how it's making the difference.
The influence effect we call
The influence effect, absolutely. So thank you for taking our time. It was wonderful talking
Thank
to you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Great conversation as always. I think two key takeaways for me. First, before you start anything, first understand the market, understand the problem, understand the potential of the market. And two, once you have identified all of this, use tech to make sure that you scale faster, you get the right solution to the right people faster. So with that, I think it was a great year that we all concluded. I hope you had a great one, and I want to wish you all a very happy 2025. Stay tuned. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you again very soon.